Hi, this is Carol and welcome to my Miscellaneous Mondays. So you're wondering why I don't have my beautiful piano in the background? Well, Nathaniel and I are on a road trip. Say hi, Nathaniel.
Hello.
We are traveling through some beautiful mountains on our way traveling and looking at a college. And you get to see all the beautiful scenery as we drive through it. Actually, you missed a lot of the really pretty stuff earlier on, but sorry, I wasn't ready to record. Okay, so I have a couple of quick questions. One, when people are petrified, I'm curious, how do they survive? I mean, how do they not waste away with no food? Why do their muscles not atrophy with no exercise? Anybody have any ideas about that? Be curious to know. Another thing, so there's a note in Hermione's hand, and really nobody has noticed it up until this point. I find that quite interesting. I think that Madame Pomfrey must not be doing her job if she hasn't noticed that piece of paper in her patient's hand. All right, there's a couple of intriguing ideas that really sparked my interest in this section. One, I love the fact that Harry is trying to turn two white bunnies into slippers, like bunny slippers. I think that's really funny. I also find it really interesting, the idea that it was a snake. What's it called?
Basilisk.
A basilisk hiding in the pipes, making with a voice that Harry could hear that nobody else could hear. And of course, he's a Parseltongue, and there are no other Parseltongues in the school, which is why nobody else could hear it. That's quite clever. I like that idea. Another thing that I find interesting is that each time one of the students or Headless Nick are petrified and not killed is because they never were looking directly into the eyes of the basilisk. And I think it's really neat the way she pulled all of those different ways of seeing it into the story, so that it kind of leaves you wondering what's going on, that all of these students are being petrified and none of them have died. I think that's neat. We're getting ready to go into a tunnel. I have a great idea for a fun house. I want to call it Hogwarts House of Hoopla. And it would have a slide in it. Here we go. We're going into a tunnel. Yay! It would have a slide. We'd be in a slide like this. It would be dark, and we'd go down this slide like the pipe in the bathroom. And it would have a game where you have to avoid the thrashing about snake. And you probably can't see me. We're in this really dark tunnel. You see me? Here I am. Whee! We're going down the pipe. And what else would we have in that house? There would be walls falling down on you that you'd have to avoid. Oh, and there would be like a version of laser tag where you they would sense your eyes, whether you were seen, and so it would try to tag your eyes, and then you'd lose lots and lots of points. Anyway, I think Hogwarts House of Hoopla would be a lot of fun. What do you guys think? I wish you could see me better in here. Whee! Yeehaw! Ah, I see the end of the tunnel. We must be under the Chamber of Secrets. Oh, now we're in the daylight. Another perfect thing for the house would be flying on brooms, and I found the perfect thing. Hey guys, Nathaniel and I are out checking out colleges, and I want to show you what I found. Look, it's a real live broom from a Harry Potter set from The Prisoner of Azkaban. Awesome. And we could fly on those and avoid bludgers. Can you tell I'm starting to get into all of this Harry Potter a little bit? I think Nathaniel's idea worked. I think even if he decided to end this book group, I would continue to read. So, Nathaniel, if you're listening, you win. Okay, you got me. I'm reading the books.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Now, Riddle is revealed as Voldemort. I think it's interesting, Ray talked last week with Karina about trust, and how in this week we get a little closer look into the trust that Harry really did have for Riddle and this diary. Harry had so much trust for Riddle that he's just really clueless when he's down in the chamber. It's like, duh, Harry, don't you see what's going on here? And really, Riddle has to spell it out to Harry what's going on. So if I wasn't riding in a car, I could read to you some quotes that I found interesting about this. But the idea that Riddle is saying to Harry, you don't get it. And then Harry all of a sudden is like, something funny is going on here. He's not really with it for such a smart kid. Riddle had to literally spell it out for Harry. I am Lord Voldemort. And the idea that he was a memory preserved in a diary, and that he left that diary behind because he wasn't able to really get into the Chamber of Secrets. And I guess he realized that unless he was a student, he wouldn't really have the opportunity to get back to that entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. So Ginny ends up with Voldemort, or Riddle's diary, when Lucius Malfoy puts it into her Transfiguration book back at the bookstore. Really makes me wonder, well, first of all, how did Lucius Malfoy come across this diary, that he had it in his hands to put in there? Did he realize what it was? And I'm sure these things will come up in later books. And how is he associated with Voldemort? Does he have some kind of a way of communicating with him, even though he's like somewhere in Albania? When Lucius put the diary into Ginny's book, did he know what was going to happen with that? Did he plan that? I'm just really curious as to how much he knew was going to happen with that book. Was he really planning to bring trouble upon the Weasley family, since he despises them? I also think it's interesting how Slytherin's ultimate goal was that the school would only be purebloods. That was what his desire was. And yet the heir to Slytherin, Voldemort, Tom Riddle, is a half-blood who's trying to get rid of other half-bloods at the school. I think there's a lot of irony in that. I don't know. I'd love to hear other people's input on that. I'm finding Lockhart at this point to be quite laughable. I'm sure you are too. His bluff has really been called. Harry and Ron go into Lockhart's office to tell him where the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is, only to find him packing up. All that he is, as we've already figured out, is a lie. And he's leaving. We find out that all of the things that he wrote about, he actually researched, and he feels that he's that it's okay that he tells the stories that he tells. But he's used a memory charm to wipe out the memories of the people that actually have the memories. And in turn, his memories get wiped away by his own charm, and he doesn't even remember who he is. But I think I like the bumbling Lockhart better. And my last point is about the discernment of Dumbledore. He's such a wise soul. I really look forward to reading more in the books and finding out more about him, because I think there's a lot more to him than meets the eye at this point in time. I think there's allusions to the idea that he is more than what he appears to be. But back to my discernment of Dumbledore. The point that he makes to Harry about it's more about the choices that you make than the ability, that says more about who you are. And boy, oh boy, is that true. I think we see that more and more in our society, maybe like with movie stars and with sports figures who have so many abilities but make such poor choices and end up in not such good places. So any kids out there listening, realize, you have a lot going for you. Make good choices with what you have. Does that make sense? Anyway, I really like the choice that the book ends with, when Harry goes about and frees Dobby by throwing a stinky sock covering the diary, and Lucius Malfoy throws that, and Dobby gets it and gets his freedom. Good choice, Harry Potter. Well, that wraps up this book for me for this week. Join the others to hear what they have to say the rest of the week as they close it out. And join us next week as we discuss Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Wait a minute. Is Hagrid still at Azkaban? Is it about Hagrid in Azkaban?
My lips are sealed.
Oh, I hope Hagrid's not stuck at Azkaban. And now I shall release you. Nathaniel's stinky sock.
Very nice.